Today is all about astronauts, Kickstarter, and social media. At the control panel, Mr. Producer Extraordinaire, Jim Walsh.
Astronauts and Kickstarters, they're kickstarting a space program now?
No, actually...
That sounds a little freaky.
You know, I should check into that, actually, because there's probably been some Kickstarter stuff when it comes to space programs, because you have, like, you know, SpaceX and that type of thing.
I want to build a spaceship.
Yeah.
Send me money.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, this is Producer Extraordinaire Jim Walsh. Jim,
hey.
How's it going, man?
Good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell everybody about your milestone achievement?
Well, I done graduated over the weekend.
No.
I got my Master's of Disaster.
So what do you have your master's in?
In business.
Okay.
So I am now, in the words of Calvin Coolidge, I guess I am now officially an educated derelict.
Yes. Overeducated for what you do.
Yeah, that's right. Vastly overqualified. And as I'm finding out, having an advanced degree is not if it ever was an automatic ticket to fame and fortune, it may not be so any longer. You got to do these things for the right reasons.
Sure.
Well,
for
me, it was a bucket list kind of thing.
Sure. You know, times have changed a lot when it comes to education. You know, a lot of people nowadays, because of the internet, have so much information available to them that you can do a lot of stuff online. And I'm guessing you did too, didn't you? Weren't a lot of your courses online?
A lot of them were, yeah.
So, you know, the whole thing has changed as far as... But I will tell you that when it comes to degrees, there are some things, if you want to start a business on your own or whatever, you don't need a degree for any of that stuff. But I will not be on the operating table if my doctor doesn't have a degree. So
it helps in situations like if you go to the bank and you want to get a loan to start a business, and they say, what are your qualifications? Well, I have a master's degree, or I have an MBA. It could certainly help you.
It's kind of a due diligence type of thing is what it is, you know, so people understand that you're serious about what you're doing.
Well, it shows that you can finish things.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, May 5th. Just a couple days away.
Cinco de Mayo.
Is Cinco de Mayo, yes. That's right. On top of it, this is the first year we will have National Astronaut Day.
Oh.
And I am actually, of all, and I know you know my...
we need to combine the two, you know.
I think we should be toasting
Tacos for astronauts. There you go.
I love it.
And margaritas.
I love it. But yeah, so May 5th will be National Astronaut Day. And the reason for that is in 1961, Alan Shepard, first trip into space. It was just, I think, a minute and a half long.
The Right Stuff. Great movie. He was up there for basically they shot him straight up and straight down again.
Just to get into space.
Suborbital, just to get up there.
Yep, that's all it was, yeah.
The first guy to orbit was, of course, the first American to orbit was Glenn.
That's correct. Oh, my goodness. Well, let's keep going. So the first person on the moon.
Hey, I'm old enough. I remember a lot of that stuff.
Well, this is a big deal to me,
I remember
too.
Glenn. I was a little kid, but I remember it.
I remember the first walk on the moon. In fact, I was in the first grade and living in Minot, North Dakota at the time.
I was a teenager,
Okay. And in 69 was the big flood in Minot before the last big flood 5 years ago.
Right.
And I was just a little kid going to first grade, and school for us was canceled for most of the spring. So I was back in school. It's the only thing I remember. And I would be willing to bet the first 3 years in school, the only thing I remember is being at school late that evening to watch the first walk on the moon.
Yeah, I watched it from the house. They actually landed on a Sunday. And we stayed, of course, I didn't have to go to school.
Right.
So I stayed up late to watch a lot of it.
Because I think it was around, at least our time here, it was like 9:30 or a quarter to 10 or something like that. Eastern time was almost late. Yeah, it was like getting close to 11 o'clock or something, you know. So, on the Eastern Coast. So, but I remember being at our school because that was actually a shelter for the flood victims going on up there. So I was up there, you know, all the students were kind of helping out wherever we could, you know, stuff. So, and we were going to school, trying to go to school in this. So I remember being there late that evening, and we were all huddled around this TV watching this thing. So great.
69, you had the moon landing, you had Woodstock. I remember when Woodstock happened.
That's true.
You had the thing with Ted Kennedy.
Yes.
Nixon was just starting to find his footing. He was in the White House.
Amazing year, actually, when you think about it.
And I was just starting to think about girls.
That's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So anyway, I was at the Space Symposium, as you know.
Yeah, that's right.
And I have in my hands a nice little gift for you.
Oh, thank you.
So
I see it when I'm holding here. It's it's a pen.
It's a pen.
A space pen.
It's by Fisher.
How does it work here?
It actually,
one of these zero-gravity pen?
That's exactly what it is.
Ah.
Because a regular pen will not write in space.
Yeah.
So this thing actually will write on, I guess they say, hey, he's actually going to try it out here. So if you're watching on Meerkat right now, you're actually going to see a demonstration of the space pen.
Well, we're not in zero gravity, but let me see here. I guess the idea is to see if it can write upside down like that.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Drop the cap here. Bear with me here. I'll show you my better side.
Yeah, he's reaching down to grab the cap that he just lost. Well, didn't lose, just found it again. All right, let's see if it works. First time out. Look at that. Isn't that something?
It says hello.
Most of the time when you write with a pen, of course, you got to kind of break it in. This one wrote right away.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, let's see if it works this way.
Okay. He's writing upside down with it now, of course.
Yeah, works fine.
Unreal.
Says hello.
There you go. So very cool. So they actually have, Fisher Pen is coming out with a series of 20 pens that'll be available for National Astronaut Day with many of the astronauts, like Susan Keller will be featured on one of the pens.
On the pen?
On the pen. They'll actually have their name, and then the funds are going to their favorite charities. So if you have Colonel Duffy's pen or Dr. Chow's pen or whatever of these 20 the monies that you pay for the pen goes to the favorite charity. So that's why I wanted to kind of throw it out there. Actually met Matt Fisher while we were down there as well. He was down there kind of showing this off too. It's a pretty cool program, and if you want to take advantage of it, May 5th, you can do that. And Jim, now, you can't keep this one because it's the only one I have.
It's a patch.
It's a patch.
Oh, God, that would look so cool on my motorcycle.
We'll have to get some more of these. I will get another one. This is the official patch for National Astronaut Day. So all of the missions, by the way, have patches. I don't know if you knew this or not. As I was visiting with the astronauts, and these patches are actually designed by the astronauts going on the mission. So a lot of times, if you ever look at these, or they kind of look hokey or whatever.
Sometimes.
It's because they are drawn by the astronauts themselves.
Yeah.
And they throw it in there. This one is a little more professionally done, of course.
Yeah, this is very nicely
done.
You have the Earth on one side, and I think that looks like it's a faceplate of a space helmet on the other.
Yep,
so that's the astronaut looking down upon the Earth, I guess.
Very, very cool, actually.
Kind of like the end of 2001, where the space baby is floating around there.
Yep. We'll take some photos of that and get that up on the website, too. But anyway, after the break, everybody, I guess we're at that time.
Yes, it's that time again.
We will be back with Mr. Max Clement. Max is the designer of the Conifer watches, and they have a brand new line coming out, so we want to talk to them about that.
All right.
Right now, 48.
Here's Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons on Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek at Facebook.com/The Tech Ranch or Twitter at Guru of Geek or TheTechRanch.com. Here again is your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we want to thank our audience that's listening to us, people listening to us all across the country on the whatever network, Blueberry Network, the Tech Podcast Network. I shouldn't be laughing about this. This is serious stuff, Jim.
That's right.
Yes.
Gummit.
They follow us on Tuned In. We are also on the Roku, iTunes, and our own app, Radio Pup. So all kinds of places you can follow us. We're also broadcasting live today on Meerkat. So that's MEERKAT, Meerkat. So if you want to see a live video stream from the studio, see Jim's lovely face, his lovely post-graduation face.
Well, I'm sure glad I shaved today.
It's good that you shaved.
I scraped my face.
I see that. It looks like a regular razor in the whole bit.
Oh, yeah? Well, that's what I use. I don't use an electric razor. Electric razor does not phase my beard.
You know, I, not to get into this so much, but I actually, on one of my recent travels, my regular electric razor broke down, so I had to go buy a new one.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's like a whole new adjustment to your skin.
Really?
So I have gone back to using a razor myself.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So
well, they're a lot better than they used to be.
They are, yeah. I was actually kind of surprised, actually.
I got one of those with the multiple, like 3 or 4 blades all lined up, and that just works beautifully on my face.
Speaking of technology here, yeah, cool. So join us on the phone from Conifer Watches, Max Clement. Max, how you doing?
Hey, hi guys. I'm fine, and you?
We're doing fine as well. And you told us before we came back to you here that we have to speak slowly to you as you're a French Canadian.
He said, "I'm French Canadian." Right. Okay, we'll speak slowly.
No problem, guys.
We're We're just giving you a bad time.
Hey, let's play some hockey. You be the goaler. And we cover the gamut from A to Z.
So, so tell us a little bit about Conifer actually has a new line of watches that you guys are introducing, and I find your new line fascinating. So why don't you tell us a little bit about it, and then we're going to get into why I have you on the Tech Ranch today.
Yeah, no problem, Mardo. Listen, we just know an amazing success on Kickstarter campaign with our new line. The Conifer watch just started a new line named Carbon. Carbon is a watch made in stainless steel and wood, and the main fact of our new line is that the watches is fully customizable. So you can choose natural or brushed stainless steel or black stainless steel, and we have 5 different kind of wood that the buyer can make their own watches.
And that's kind of what's cool about this. You actually customize each of these watches.
Yes, exactly. And we are on the Kickstarter campaign since April 11th, and the campaign will end in May 16th. So then we will pass into production, and we will create every watches for the backers that who backed us on Kickstarter campaign. And the delivery date it's around September this year.
And so if you go to Kickstarter and you type in Conifer or Carbon, and that's K-A-R-B.
Or you can simply type watch or Conifer, K-O-N-I-F-E-R, and you will find us easily. Actually, we will hit the 500% of funding from what we asked to that campaign. That's amazing.
That is amazing, actually. It's. I was just reviewing your Kickstarter here. The watches, by the way, Max, are gorgeous. I can't state that enough. I mean, they are absolutely stunning. That stainless steel with the wood face.
They are stunning, and plus it's extremely high quality since we use not mineral glass, but we use sapphire glasses on our watches. It's unscratchable. It's fully waterproof. You have a sealed crown to protect from the water. It's a really high quality watch.
So I'm just curious, Max. Now we have the age of where a lot of people are starting to wear like the Apple Watch and that type of thing. Mm-hmm. Has this impacted your sales as a company, or are you actually seeing kind of resurgence back to people wearing watches?
No, that doesn't affect us, and the watch won't never disappear. It will pass the time, and I can say I tried to translate, but it will lasting forever. And the Apple Watch it's a nice gadget, but the watch is a watch and won't never disappear.
Yeah, and again, I can't state this enough. What do you think, Jim? I mean, what do you think of the look of this?
That's a nice watch.
So the faceplate there, Jim, yeah, it really...
Yeah, a very intelligent comment from Jim here.
It's a nice watch.
That's a cool watch.
But the faceplate, and then is all wood. They actually handcraft that to go in there.
Yeah.
It's just
exactly.
crazy.
It's all wood.
Yeah,
all solid wood. And the kind of wood that we use in our watches, you have maple, you have sandalwood, you have also, you can have ebony, and you have zebra wood from Africa.
Very, very cool.
So the watch is made of wood.
Yeah, and then the parts that are on the outside are actually stainless steel.
Oh, okay.
So you kind of get that.
And the highest quality that we use it's a 316L grade stainless steel. This is the highest quality that we can use for such watch.
Okay.
Just looking at it, it looks like a precision instrument.
It does. It
looks like a really classy piece of timeware here.
And actually, the price.
And we presented our lady model when we hit $30,000. So you can find it on our Kickstarter campaign. You will see the draw since we don't have any production of those lady watches. But you can see all the ladies model. And when we hit when we will hit $100,000, the people will be able to pick the black finish in the lady models.
All right. Well, All right, Max, we really appreciate you being on the show today.
Thanks for being a good sport, by the way.
Thanks from you guys.
Thanks, Max.
Take care. Thank you. He's great.
Oh, he's great, yeah. And the reason, I know it's not a high-tech thing, but the reason I wanted him to be on the show is because I find it interesting that, Indiegogo, Kickstarter, these crowdfunding plays that you can have nowadays, alternate ways to finance your business or finance your new product.
Yeah.
And this is a great example of this. They can actually create a brand new watch. They use their Kickstarter to raise funds, but at the same time, find out if there's any interest in the product that they're throwing out there. It's kind of a research and development thing. So instead of the traditional way of doing this, you can use Kickstarter or Indiegogo. So I just think that it's a great example. And for people who are thinking about starting businesses or whatever, they really need to look seriously at, using like a Kickstarter to do that.
What do you need to do? What do you need to say to get people to take you seriously, as opposed to, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who are just going to say, hi, give me money.
You laugh about that, but there are things like Fund Me, and I'm sure you've seen these, where people have some type of, there's a family member that has some illness or whatever, and they're using Fund Me to use crowdfunding to help that situation out. But there are people that try to scam people too, So, so Indiegogo, Kickstarter, those are a little more reputable, and I think, just because they are more reputable, they take you through a series of questions, and you just have to be a little more prepared. You just can't, it's difficult in that arena to scam people.
Right.
Kickstarter especially. I mean, Kickstarter vets their people, and they only select a few that even get into that. So
I was thinking about that for building a studio to do some, not to compete with here necessarily, but just to have it available to do all kinds of things.
Yeah, voice tracking or whatever.
Voice track, which is where we record segments that we play back on the radio. We do that sometimes.
Sure, and you certainly could do that, Jim. You could put your story out there on Indiegogo, for example.
We're only talking like $2,000 or $3,000 to set up what I need.
Right, and generally what you need to do is most of them expect some type of perk back.
Yeah.
So maybe in exchange for a voice track or a voiceover to a commercial or something like that.
Well, in some cases, I'm sure this has happened with the startups. For example, talk show hosts who have a certain political bent, they find the people who agree with that political bent. Like if you're a right-winger, you find all the hardcore right-wing people, a lot of whom do have a fair amount of, they have deep pockets, so to speak. I mean, that's how Rush Limbaugh got started. That's how Hannity got started.
Absolutely.
They found benefactors, guys who liked what they said politically and basically, put a bankroll behind what they were saying.
And that can be done for anything. I mean, if you love animals, if you love infrastructure development, if you love oil,
find the people who share your vision.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can get something going. So it's kind of how it works. So.
Absolutely.
All right, after the break, everybody, Miss Metaverse, Katie Aquino, will be here, and we'll be talking more about how to use social media. So coming back for that.
Right now, 48.
Super Talk 1270, home of the Bismarck Bobcats and high school sports. Listen online or anywhere on the Radio Pup app. Super Talk 1270.
We're back to the Tech Ranch. Stream this program now at supertalk1270.com. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And joining us from the island of Long, Miss Metaverse, Katie Aquino.
Long Island.
So,
hello there. I come from the island of Long.
Yo, how you doing? How are you?
Sometimes they call us the island of Strong.
Long Island. How far are you from the Village Green? Isn't that Massapequa?
I'm not so sure.
I'm talking about the Billy Joel song, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. He talks about the Village Green. Maybe
yes,
it was Hicksville.
I have heard of that, but I don't really know. I should know. I'm
Actually,
not that Long Islander like.
Yeah, as I think of it, I think Billy's from Hicksville, so it's probably in Hicksville.
Okay.
Yes. He is from around that area. He's got a motorcycle shop too in the North Shore.
Well, somewhere. He would need one.
I forget which town it's in though.
He would need a place to fix his bike.
So where did the name come from? Anybody know? Long Island?
Long Island.
Well, there's a lot of Native Americans here, and a lot of the names, like, for instance, there's Ronkonkoma. There's also an area out east where there is still a Native American reservation that's called Puspatuck. So there's a lot of different unique names out
there's
here.
The Shinnecock,
Is by me, so that's another one. So, there's a lot of names.
When I lived and worked in the Hamptons, we were right next to the Shinnecock Reservation.
Oh, yes. All right, great.
That's okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we're actually going to be talking about social media. This kind of continuing the conversation we had 2 weeks ago, actually.
We got to talk about the nude beaches near Montauk.
There's nude beaches there as well?
Nude beaches near Montauk, yes.
I thought it'd be too cold up north for nude beaches. I'm just saying.
Yes. Well, Today we're going to talk about blogging and content marketing.
Okay. Nude beaches are another topic for another time.
Dadgummit.
I'm sure that's a drone-free zone.
Well, you got the Russian submarines right off the coast there. Oh, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, social media and blogging. People are saying, hey, let's go back to the other topic instead. But so we're going to get into why blogging and social media are so intertwined. So, Katie, I'll let you start the conversation, and I'm just going to ask questions as I think of them.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So, yes, there's a huge synergy between blogging and content marketing, and not a lot of people know what content marketing actually means. It's become kind of this marketing buzzword that people use to sell services or to, kind of streamline the two of blogging and sharing it on social media. So content marketing really means is creating a lot of unique content and then sharing it on social media. And this way, by developing a voice and creating content in that voice and then sharing it on social media, people will find you and they'll connect with your brand.
And a lot of people think that this probably is a lot of work to do, and they are correct. I'm just saying.
It is. It's a full-time job. It really is. And that's why there's so many people, even like myself. I run a network of freelancers, which I mentioned in our last show. And one of the most popular services that I do is social media management and content marketing for small businesses, independent professionals. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in. Anyone can benefit from blogging and social media.
And I agree with that. So, you had just mentioned that Billy Joel had a motorcycle shop, up in your neck of the woods there.
Yeah.
And, that motorcycle shop, you think about, bikers and social media and blogging and whatever. And those two things could, when you think about it, probably are as far apart as you could possibly be. But
not necessarily.
It's the exact opposite. They could raise their authority simply by posting, on a consistent basis, whether it's a couple times a week or whatever, and people start looking for that information about, maybe they could talk about day rides, around the area. They could talk about how to keep your motorcycle, up mechanically, and things like that. And it again raises their authority, and you push all this stuff.
Harley Davidson is right on the cutting edge of all that stuff. I have a friend who works for the Harley people down in Houston, and they're right on top of that.
And it's important. I mean, I can tell you from my launch of National Day Calendar, for example. I mean, that was just a hobby that we just consistently posted on a daily basis, and because of that consistency, it continued to raise our authority to the point where National Day Calendar is now the authority for national days in this country.
Beautiful.
And that's it was just consistency. That's all it was. I mean, we didn't do anything spectacular. It wasn't that our writing was spectacular. There's nothing to it. Except for the fact that we were consistently writing and posting stuff out there.
Well, it's like any kind of media, traditional media. I mean, as my boss said to me the other day, we have modified our newscast here on the station. We're doing more local newscasts. And as he said quite correctly, you want to lose credibility in a hurry, stop giving the people the news and information they rely on at a certain time of day.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. So this lesson can be taken through all kinds of media. So, all right, Katie, keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, it's really funny that you mentioned motorcycles because I had a client appointment last week, and it's a motorcycle shop on Long Island. Of course, I can't say which one, but it's funny that you mentioned that. So you totally nailed it. I mean, that's exactly what you want to do, is you want to create a voice that's relatable, that people will read, and businesses from all over benefit from this. I had another client in Huntington, and it was a law office, and they built their entire business just from being online, which I thought was really interesting, because I thought, okay, how does a local Long Island, law practice end up having clients from all over the country? And that's exactly what happened, because they started out with this blogging, and then they started getting into social media. And by blogging and social media, they were able to completely take on clients from all over the country, and including also in their local area as well. So it's definitely beneficial, because what you're doing is you put this content online. When someone gets into an accident, let's say, right?
Yeah.
The first thing they do is they look at their phone, and they're trying to find like a lawyer to call if they don't have one, right? Or they're trying to find information about what just happened or what we can do. And I know that's happened to me before. So you have to think about what kind of content can you put on your blog that someone will try to look up when they are looking for your services. And by doing that, people will find you. And that's the beauty of it, is that you're putting out the information that people are looking for, and then they'll choose you because they connect to what you wrote.
Well, and you kind of hit on something there, Katie, I was going to bring up, and that is, if you're consistently blogging and you have competition in the area, let's say your attorney or your bicycle shop or whatever, okay, if everything is the same, let's say the websites are exactly the same, and Jim's shop is consistently blogging, generally speaking, Google, Yahoo, Bing will say, hey, these people know what's going on. We're going to rank them higher in search engines as opposed to the other shop. Now, tell me if I'm wrong in that.
You are 100% correct, and I was just about to touch upon that, because the biggest benefit of content marketing and blogging and all the social media stuff is to get you higher on the search results. And everything from the tweets you put out to pins on Pinterest to your blogs, all these are factored into how you appear online.
Yeah.
And the more content you put out, just like a platform like BuzzFeed, BuzzFeed became this huge phenomenon because they're putting out a lot of really relatable but brief and vivid content that was just, constant, multiple posts, but all of them are short. So there's different directions you can go, and we can get into more of that, a little bit later. But there's a lot of benefits for SEO. It's the best thing you could do for your business, for sure.
Well, I know some of the search engines, they have these what they call them spiders, right? That they send out that kind of crawl all over the internet looking for new information for their search engine function. And if you're constantly updating your site, that is just like delicious, yummy spider food for the little electronic spiders, right?
Exactly. Yes, and that's the greatest thing. I mean, the more content you're putting out, the more those spiders will eat it up. And there you go. And then you're at the top of Google search results, which is great. And the thing is, if you can hire someone to do it for you, that's the most ideal, because the thing is, as much as it's great to talk about doing this, there's a lot of work that goes into it, and that's the thing. I mean, blogging and the social media management and all these things, it's a lot of work. It's like a full-time job. But then there's a lot of people out there like, myself and Marlo, even what you do is related to this. I mean, the Tech Ranch blog is a blog. Yeah. And so there's a lot that goes into it. So, but there are options. If you're looking for someone who does these things, there's a lot of freelancers like myself who provide content marketing services, and that's what we do.
I would think it's just like if you write for a living. If you skip a day, then you start to skip another day if you just don't feel like doing it. That's the worst reason in the world not to get it done, is that you don't feel motivated, you don't feel creative. You can't think that way.
Right, exactly.
All right, after the break, everybody, we will continue this conversation.
Right now, 52.
Dave Ramsey is heard here. Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And in studio today, we have producer extraordinaire Jim Walsh joining us from the island of Long. Or I'm just going to introduce Katie that way all the time now. But
hey, Katie, how far are you from Massapequa?
Oh, I'm super close. I'm probably like 10 minutes away.
Oh, that's Jerry Seinfeld's hometown. He said Massapequa is an old Indian word meaning next to the shopping mall.
And it is.
Yeah.
We're talking about social media today and how you can integrate social media, blogging, all that good stuff into building your business. And as we're talking about this, remember that all of this stuff can be utilized on a personal level as well. So if you're passionate about coin collecting, flying drones, whatever it is, and you want to build your authority in these things, it's important to actually nowadays to actually have a blog.
It's not necessarily that difficult to come up with good ideas. You just have to be diligent about it.
I agree.
Use a little common sense. I mean, we were just talking about how badly some movies are marketed and how it's amazing. These people in Hollywood who are making well into six figures a year to come up with these marketing campaigns, how bad some of them really are.
Right. Overthink this stuff way too much. So,
yeah.
So, Katie, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, too, was meaningful relationships that you can develop with social media. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Meaningful relationships professionally, I would say that there's a lot of different platforms that provide different kinds of connections. So beyond just having a solid modern website with a blog, which is definitely what I advise everyone to start with, the next step would be social media and your outreach. So, I'm definitely glad that you asked about that because different platforms provide different kinds of connections. So the most professional level of connections would be LinkedIn. People use LinkedIn because they're looking for jobs or they are professionals looking to network. There's a lot of different ways people interact on LinkedIn. And what's great about LinkedIn is that they've been launching all kinds of new apps to kind of diversify their different services that they offer. So LinkedIn Pulse is a huge, huge, huge thing now. Originally, LinkedIn was more of a network that was kind of confusing. You just added people, and then you could send them an email or something, and that was kind of it. But today, it's completely different, and it's quickly evolving as well.
Good.
It's all going to content. So check out LinkedIn Pulse. LinkedIn Pulse shares stories, so people write their blogs, and then they share those blogs on LinkedIn, and that's a great way to be found and connect with other like-minded people.
Well, LinkedIn for a long time, Jim here, has been, like you say, it's neither fish nor fowl because you can't tell. Up to now, I'm saying it was sometimes hard to tell if it was supposed to be a serious business thing or if it was just like another version of Facebook. They went through that period where a lot of people were beginning to wonder whether they should even take it seriously.
But I think they've kind of got past that now.
Good.
Yeah.
Because I was on LinkedIn, and then I got off of it because I'm saying, what good is this going to do me?
Sure.
And now, through the recommendation of some people, I've gotten back on again. We'll see how it plays out.
Right. Yeah, I use LinkedIn a lot, actually.
Do you?
If I need to, contact the president of a company or something along these lines, LinkedIn is a great way to kind of cut through that clutter that you'd find normally online. And some of these people would normally not be reachable. I mean, you wouldn't think the president of, like, Dell or whatever, you wouldn't probably find them on Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah.
But you would have a better chance on LinkedIn. Just saying, that's just kind of the difference between.
Well, it depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I think for more entertainment-oriented stuff, you go to Twitter, like a lot of the comedians.
Sure.
Will tweet each other about the jokes and commentary and
Absolutely. It's more of a way to post things quickly and build audience as well. So one of the things, too, Katie, is that what I have found with social media is that you can get your demographics a little easier. So let's say you don't know, maybe the market that your business is, the people that you want to attract to your market. Maybe, when a lot of businesses have this thing when they first start off, they're like, hey, everybody's going to buy this. right?
Well, everybody likes to think, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then you start, but you're not successful if you're going to be marketing everybody. You really want to market to that niche of people that are going to be your most popular customers. So social media really allows that to happen. So again, I'm going to pick a National Day calendar. I would have never guessed that 80% of the people that follow us are college-educated women. But with Facebook and
when you
Twitter,
say that, after you say that, you think about it, and it makes all the sense.
It makes all the sense in the world. But when we first started going and doing this, I never would have believed in a million years that we would be so strong in that demographic.
Right off the top of my head, I would have assumed it'd be a male thing.
So this really is one of those things that when you get into the analytics of Facebook and Twitter, and they provide these things to you, that's the thing, and it's free. You can just go in and look and see this, and you can see what's going on. So, Katie, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's great. There's a lot of free analytics tools that these social media platforms provide to you, and it is very helpful. Being able to understand who is following you helps you better cultivate what kind of content you're putting out there. But I love that you said find your niche. That is my number one thing that I talk to clients about. Because let's say, for instance, that you want to start a blog about motorcycles, right? What makes your motorcycle blog so unique? Or what makes your brand so unique? If you don't really know what that is, you just want to say, I want to be better than Harley Davidson. That's really not enough. You have to have something that sets you apart, truly. So finding your niche is the greatest step. And finding your voice comes along with that. Because once you have your niche, you'll know how to speak through social media to get your message across and become the authority, as you said.
And you can actually use, if we'll pick on Harley a little bit here, I guess, but maybe there's something that they're not doing that is apropos to what you want to be doing, and you can really expand on that. So, yes, Joe.
The classic story, and I studied this when I was a marketing major, was the story of Honda back in the 60s, who were looking to find that niche we're talking about. And what they did, they positioned themselves as a more family-friendly, more guy-next-door alternative to Harley. Harley, to this day, still has the image in the mind of a lot of people as being your hardcore biker types, your Hells Angels. Rightly or wrongly, they have that image to this day with a lot of people. And Honda very shrewdly came up with, you meet the nicest people on a Honda. It's like the people who ride Hondas are not Hells Angels types. They're just regular folks like the rest of us. And it worked beautifully for them.
Yep, exactly. So, Katie, your thoughts?
Well, I think that it's always changing. Obviously the Harley brand is trying to evolve as well right now, since we're discussing it. I believe it was maybe last year or the year before, I went to go check out the new Harley electric motorcycle.
Yeah.
And it was funny to see the reactions, because it's so unlike anything Harley's done before, is to have this electric motorcycle, and the sound of it is just so different. And it was just funny to see. You wonder how they're going to get this message across and how they're going to evolve with technology.
They don't have that big booming jet engine sound, I would assume.
Yeah, it was like rather than like a classic Harley sound.
The power sound. Yeah,
interesting. Well, we only have a couple minutes left here, and I actually want to kind of remind everybody that May 5th, that would be this Thursday, right? Am I thinking that right?
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo, this Thursday, May 5th. But it's also National Astronaut Day.
I'm telling you, we need to combine the two.
We got to figure that out before Thursday.
Tacos for astronauts. I'm sorry. Too much coffee. Please, Marla. I stepped on you again there.
No, it's okay. So, Katie, do you have any favorite astronaut stories?
Favorite astronaut stories?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I just think it's really cool how, astronauts like Chris Hadfield, that's his name, I believe. I always get it wrong. But he's a famous astronaut who started doing Periscope. So he's on Periscope, which for all you listeners out there, if you've never heard of Periscope, it's a live streaming app that you can check out.
Yeah.
And he's on there, and he talks about his experience as being an astronaut, and which is really cool. So you can actually connect through social media, through Twitter, live streaming, Facebook Live is huge now. And it's great. So it's really interesting for me. I like listening to their stories.
I'll have to pop in and listen to that sometime. That sounds fascinating. So, All right, Katie, appreciate it. Coming from the island of Long. Jim, congratulations again.
Thank you, sir.
So you have that new degree that I hope you will be able to put to use now.
I sure hope so.
Yes. We need to stop laughing every time we say that, Jim.
Oh, boy.
All right, everybody, until next week, see ya.